What if I told you there's a type of carbohydrate hiding in plain sight that messes with your blood sugar more than actual sugar? It's a key player in building up visceral fat, that dangerous fat wrapping around your vital organs. It systematically destroys the good bacteria in your gut while feeding the bad guys that cause inflammation and metabolic chaos. This is a super-inflammatory carb that can make conditions like arthritis worse and inflame your intestines, the very heart of your immune system. And if you're worried about bad cholesterol, this carb can raise those tiny artery-clogging particles almost instantly. The craziest part, it's often marketed as sugar-free. It costs next to nothing, about 20 cents a pound. You can buy a massive 25-pound bag for just $5. How is that even possible? It's subsidized. Your tax dollars are helping to pay for its production. So, what is this stuff even for? Honestly, it has zero nutritional value. It's a filler, used to bulk up products and slash costs for manufacturers. On average, a single person consumes anywhere from 65 to 250 pounds of this starch every single year. Globally, that's a staggering 21 billion pounds produced annually. It's everywhere. You'll find it in gluten-free foods, baby formula, baked goods, and even sports nutrition products. By now, you've probably guessed what I'm talking about. Industrial starch, specifically things like maltodextrin or modified cornstarch. So, what exactly is starch? At its core, it's just a chain of sugar molecules linked together. But when it's processed in a lab, its natural structure and all its fiber are stripped away. This leaves behind weak, fragile links that break down incredibly easily. The result? When you eat it, it converts into sugar in your bloodstream even faster than pure glucose. Now, I'm not talking about the natural starch you find in a potato or a sweet potato. I'm talking about the highly refined, ultra-powdered, chemically bleached version you find in processed foods. You won't taste the sweetness right away, but if you chew it long enough, the enzymes in your saliva will start breaking it down into sugar right there in your mouth. But the story gets darker when you look at the hidden chemicals used to make it. To produce this industrial starch, manufacturers often use a cocktail of some pretty nasty chemicals. Things like sodium triphosphate, which can stress the kidneys and accelerate the aging of your arteries, or vinyl acetate, which is considered a possible human carcinogen, and even sodium hypochlorite. Yes, that's literally bleach. It can damage your kidneys, your tooth enamel, and your delicate mucous tissues. Some of these additives, often found in baby formula and kids' drinks, might even impair mitochondrial function with long-term exposure. And the most shocking part, all these chemicals are generally recognized as safe or GRAS, often without any real long-term testing on humans. Is it any wonder we're seeing a global rise in chronic diseases? Let's talk about the invisible carbohydrates on food labels. Pick up a packaged food and look at the nutrition facts. You might see something like 16 grams of carbs, 1 gram of fiber, and 0 grams of sugar. So you think, great, no sugar. But what about the other 15 grams of carbs? That's the modified starch, the invisible carbohydrate that nobody talks about. This is the stuff that clogs up your metabolism, damages proteins in your body, and contributes to things like diabetes complications, Alzheimer's, fatty liver, and even cirrhosis. As this starch breaks down, it forms aldehyde, the same toxic compound used in embalming fluid and a byproduct of drinking too much alcohol. Now, things get even worse when this industrial starch is combined with seed oils and subjected to high heat. Think about your favorite crispy, crunchy snacks: fries, crackers, cereals, pasta, and bread. This combination creates a toxic mix that actively damages your body's tissues and drives inflammation. Let's look at the numbers. French fries are about 65% starch and 30% oil. Crackers, 70% starch, 25% oil. Breakfast cereal is around 80% starch, plus sugar and oil. Bread is 75% starch, and pasta is about 80% starch. For years, we've been taught to fear sugar, but we're consuming far, far more starch. And in reality, this industrial starch is arguably even more dangerous. It really makes you question the definition of food. If we define food as something that nourishes, fuels, and restores the body, then industrial starch and the ultra-processed products it's in don't even qualify. They're just filler. But thanks to legal loopholes, they're allowed to be sold and marketed as food. The reality is, 55 to 75% of the calories in ultra-processed foods come from this industrial starch. The rest is mostly synthetic sugars and cheap seed oils. The picture this paints is deeply worrying, especially for the next generation. For children, about 65% of their daily calories come from ultra-processed foods. That adds up to about 55 pounds of industrial starch per year. For teenagers, it's even higher, 70% of their calories, which is nearly 100 pounds of starch a year. And for adults, it's around 55% of our calories, or about 67 pounds annually. Think about that. Most of the energy our bodies are running on doesn't come from real, whole food. It comes from an artificial blend of starch, oil, and sugar. And that is what is silently, day by day, destroying our collective health. So, here's the final thought to leave you with. The most dangerous carbohydrate in the world isn't sugar. It's industrial starch. The one that spikes your blood sugar faster than sugar itself, fuels insulin resistance, contributes to fatty liver disease, and accelerates the aging of your cells. It's the hidden ingredient that's making us sick. If you want the full picture, you won't want to miss the next video. I'll be breaking down the science of seed oils and explaining why, when combined with industrial starch, they form a deadly duo that is at the root of our modern health crisis. Thanks for watching. If you found this valuable, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. See you in the next video.